Yeah, so I've been in the industry since I was 19 years old. Most of that experience has been in the shops being a diesel mechanic. I learned a lot about the industry that way, learned a lot about trucks that way and trucking, and just kind of ended up getting my CDL as a mechanic to test drive vehicles and pick up deliveries. And then, reached a point where I kind of got burned out on that and decided, I want to go drive and be an over-the-road driver and use my CDL for my actual job, right? And, yeah.
So I've got a question for you. What made you want to be a tech, a diesel tech? I turn a few wrenches. I know just enough to be dangerous, but I will tell you that Will sent me a picture a week ago on his phone with a power
master brake
cylinder, and he was doing his own repair, but he didn't know which was the in and the outflow. Oh, I'm just kidding, right?
I didn't even know what I had. I just ordered something.
So those of us that are shade tree mechanics often do it because we like to do our own thing or learn a little bit more. Is that how you?
Yeah, so I've always been into cars, and I think with a lot of mechanics, and it's a hobby first. So, just out of high school, the 4-year college thing just really wasn't for me. I wanted to learn a trade and just get out there working as soon as I could. So yeah, I went to a trade school, learned a lot there. Kind of in the middle of that, decided I wanted to focus more on the diesel side of things. So, took all their diesel programs and just ended up getting my first gig was at a truck stop company here and doing roadside service and stuff everywhere from Phoenix to the Cali state line, busting tires down on the side of the highway.
Oh my.
Wasn't the most fun job, but it got me in the door in the industry. And then, ended up coming over here tonight and working on our fleet trucks and learning a lot here about just the industry in general. And
lots of opportunities to learning a technical trade and then applying it, versus going to college. Lots of opportunities. Okay. Absolutely, so I can't help but ask you, you said you're into cars, that's how you got your interest, right?
Yes.
So I have 2 old Broncos in my backyard.
That his wife would love for you to come over and get running for Corey to get him out of there.
So one hadn't run for 12 years and one hadn't run for about 7 years, and I've got them both running. But I have a few questions. So maybe after the podcast, we could hook up and talk about my old Broncos.
So he said that he didn't run in 12 years. They're currently still not running. And if his wife is listening, hey, she would probably pay you to come take them out of there. So
yeah, she would.
Put a mechanics lien on it.
Right.
But I will tell you that every young kid that comes over or every guy that comes over and sees my first Bronco, they want it. Especially when they learned that I paid $200 for it.
I gotta ask, what year is it?
We all offer him double what he paid for it.
Exactly.
That's how good a condition it's in.
So question for you, when you were a tech, do you prefer working in the shop or on the mobile repair side?
Absolutely the shop. It is not fun being on the side of the road. It really isn't. Shop has air conditioning.
Exactly.
That's one major thing out here. I worked that job actually during the summer. So, I was out there on I-10, 115, 118 degrees, laying on the asphalt, literally underneath a truck and cars whizzing by. And
I hope you took some sort of mat to insulate you from laying on the asphalt.
No, usually I would just, fortunately the truck's probably been there long enough now, broke down on the side of the road that the shade from the truck has kind of cooled the asphalt down to at least 130.
At least 130, right? So how do you bust a tire on the side of the road?
Well, you basically, so unlike a spare tire on a car that comes with the rim and the tire all together, all you have to do is bolt it onto the vehicle, right? Trucks really aren't that way. So you have to take the tire off of the rim and then remount a new tire back onto the rim, and then put it all back on the truck. And
do it Tennessee style, like a can of ether, no tire cage, nothing. Probably not the safest.
not the-
Yes, if you're listening, do not do that.
Yeah, don't try that.
Yes.
It doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Gotta love it, Will.
I want to get down to the nitty gritty. You say you have a tire that's not mounted on a rim. How do you get the old tire off the rim?
So there's tools called tire bars, and you basically you deflate the tire, break it off the bead, shove the tire bar.
Breaking it off like with a sledgehammer.
Yeah. So once it's deflated, you can either sometimes you can just stand on it and break it off. Other times you got to hit it with a sledgehammer.
Wheel could stand right on it and it would break right off.
Blowouts are kind of easy because you can just cut the pieces of the tire off the wheel, and
I've actually tried doing that, and it was not for me, man.
it
It was like wrestling a pig. You can't do it. I was
truck tires are
unsuccessful.
very heavy too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't realize how heavy, especially with the rim. I mean, 250, 300 pounds.
Well, you see professional athletes trying to flip those tires over as an exercise, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, once you get the tire off the wheel, you lube up your new tire with some soap or tire lube, and you basically, at the time I was a little bit smaller of a person, so I'd have to jump on them, and I probably looked like a crazy monkey on the side of the road jumping on this tire trying to get it to get over the bead of the wheels.
So literally manually you manhandle the tire onto the rim.
It's completely manual.
Both sides. Wow.
No wonder you got into driving. Good for you.
Yeah. I got burned out on that.
So my dad, sorry. So that's what as you're talking about mechanic work, my dad just retired as a diesel mechanic for like 48 years. And I watched him come home and just scrub his fingernails. My papaw was just kind of hunched over from lifting transmissions. So I decided, they tried teaching me that stuff when I was younger. And I thought, if you guys are miserable and I see what it's done to your bodies, I said, why do I want to get into that? So that's why I chose the different aspect of trucking. Sit behind the wheel and now behind the desk. And it's easier. It's less stressful, but not very much so. So good for you for honestly for getting in and being at a young age and trying it out and seeing different aspects of transportation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun. You get really comfortable in trucking, and this is just an industry that there's so much different opportunities and different roles you can play in the industry. So
thank you for watching that clip. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more clips like that, please click here.
Or if you'd like to check out a full episode, click here.
And don't forget to subscribe to us on
YouTube.